Hi everybody, welcome to Sam's Doing Stuff. What am I doing in this one? Well, I expect to be getting some cutting done. Yeah, I'm pretty much out of rounds, except for this stuff. This is that little bit of stuff that I was cleaning up from over there off the concrete. This will make enough to maybe top off one of my red oak baskets. I got these big chunks over here. This all needs processed. Honestly, this stuff, most of it, I'm pretty sure is all going to my parents. It's rotten and infested and whatever, but that's good. They need firewood too. I'm way short for them. My dad burned 6 cords last winter. It was a cold winter, and this is all I have for him right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 baskets full, and that's just a little over a cord. But the good news is that, you know, that 12 cords that I wanted to reach, and where that number came from is I had 6 cords last year and I sold out. So I said, I want to double it for this year. I want to sell 12 cords of firewood this year. You know, it's a goal. You got to set a goal. Well, I have filled all but 2 baskets. Once those last 2 baskets are filled, I've hit my goal. The rest of it is going to be bulk storage. And I'm pretty sure I want all my bulk storage to go right here. It's a huge piece of concrete that's really underutilized. I used to do all my processing up here. I used to do all the cutting. You know, I don't do that anymore. I use the barn, you know? Makes sense. So what am I going to use this for? It's concrete so I can scoop, you know, I can scoop with the bucket. It's just a good place, I think, for bulk storage. And as I said, here's these last 2 baskets that I need to cut out the fronts and get them ready to stack. And somebody in the comments, you guys, all your suggestions, I love it. Somebody said, why don't you cut your bladders like this, leaving about a 4-inch, and they're much sturdier. They don't flop, you know, like when you cut the top off. So I was cutting the top off completely because I'm using those tops to cover the red oak out in the field. Well, I have enough tops now, and I need a place to store this big pile of chunks that I'm using as my own firewood to heat the barn. And I dumped those out of those good bladders, so I'm going to use the crappy bladders with all the black stuff in them for my own wood, because who cares? It's my wood. I'm fine with it. So that brings me to this point. I just discovered in the bottom of this black yucky bladder, there's like asphalt millings. Those would go really well up in my service entrance. Let's do that first. Voila! This works well. Yeah, I think I'll make another one. Let me tell you, one of the best things there is about doing firewood. There's always something to do, and there's always something different to do. I don't want to mess with that anymore out there. Quite honestly, I'll do it later. I did a little bit. I want to split. I just want to split. I've been promising several people in the comments that I would go back and try the 4-way. Now, someone suggested I should raise the 4-way all the way up to its highest position, split it, and then use the bottom of the wedge as a single wedge to finish my splits and make those perfect splits. I agree with you up to a point. If the wedge is all the way up, then if you've got a round that doesn't quite sit right, the top of the round is just going to get shaved off. You're going to waste there, you know? You should set the bottom split down under here. That should be your ideal split, because when the round goes through, you want this bottom piece to be your ideal height. Then you can go back and you can finish splitting, if you got some single splits to do, up on the top part of this. You just hold the piece up. But if it's all the way up and you just get like just at the edge of this, then you've just slivered this all up, and that's why you get so much waste. So I'm going to stick with having this set to the ideal size, which I know it looks small to you guys, but that's what my customers want. They want small splits. So that's what I do. Let's give it a shot. Well, guys, I only split a few, and I am definitely a single wedge guy. It actually took me longer to try and size things up, to try and get the split right. It's making my mind get all jumbled because I'm thinking about every split just the way I think about when I use the single wedge. And I'm part of the problem, okay? I'm saying that I'm part of the problem. It's not that the 4-way wedge is a bad thing. If you're just cranking them through and you're not as picky as I am, I mean, sure, yeah, but I'm actually faster with the single wedge. I know it, and definitely less waste. Definitely at least twice as much waste with the 4-way. So I'm a single wedge guy. Bonus feature of splitting into these bladders is I have obviously a partial basket here of red oak and another partial basket over there. So instead of bringing these partial baskets all the way back to the barn to stack them, I can just bring the bladder out here and fill them up. I'll say it again. When you stack it nice and neatly like this, it's never as much as I think it is. It'll probably always be that way. But this is nice. This is convenient. All right. For my next trick, let's load this pallet up with all this weird crap. Oh, oh. Hollow, but they're still not light. Never have to lift them. So I just got all the ugly stuff cut up, cleaning up the rest of this crap, got it all up here to split up into pieces, sort it all out, and guess what? Yep, my tree service texted me again. I was so thrilled. And not only is he, I mean, the logs that he's bringing with this load, I put up some footage here. Yeah, it's some beautiful wood, really nice stuff. You know, full load too. Spent about a half an hour unloading it, and he's got more loads. And this was the owner bringing this load, and man, he's just really excited about this partnership here, me and him. Plenty of room for him to unload logs, and I don't know, if I get enough tree service wood, then maybe I don't have to call a logging truck and pay for it. So that's definitely a win-win. I mean, absolutely. If you can get a good relationship with a tree service, yeah, I don't have to say anymore. All right, well, I'm gonna start splitting, get this all cleaned up, and then we're gonna start grabbing logs out of the field and making more room for him to bring more logs. Let's do this first. All right, well, I said at the beginning of this video, and I really have been working this whole time just to get ready to do some serious cutting. I had to clean everything up first. I can't just leave things a mess, you know, and move on to the next thing. You got to finish where you are first, because all of these new rounds are going to have to come in here eventually. So yeah, it feels really, really good to get this all done. Let's get ready to cut. And here we are. These are the monsters. And as much as I would love to start cutting into these big, beautiful logs, especially these down here. Wow. Is this white oak? I think this is white oak, guys. Oh, just some beautiful, beautiful stuff. Yeah, as much as I would love to start cutting into this fresh stuff, it's got to be first in, first out. And when he brings another load, yes, he's going to bring more. It's crazy, but he's going to bring more. I really need to get this stuff here out of the way. This is the oldest stuff. So the best way to do it with monsters like this, I've got the excavator, I'm going to pick them up, and I'm going to cut them while the excavator holds them. It's a lot of in and out of the excavator, I know, but I don't have another person working with me. That's the way it's going to be. I mean, sure, these are ugly, but think of how nice it'll be when I get done with the ugly ones. And I'll have all those beautiful ones to work on. Man, these things are huge. Just need to get it turned around here. And let's get a little more power. There we go. Now we're getting it. All right. See if I can get it up off the ground where I can work on it. Wonderful. Doesn't need to be super high, just high enough. Well, that's one all cut up. Now I'm gonna load them into the trailer, move on to the next one. Perfect. Well, that's the procedure now. Seems like it's gonna work just fine. Yeah. Cut them into rounds, put them in the trailer, bring them over and dump them. I could, yes, pick each log up and walk it over with the excavator, but I think that would take way too long. I think using the dump trailer is the way to go. So yeah, keep pecking away at it so that I'll have room when they bring more. Oh, it feels really good to know I'm not, knock on wood, gonna be running out of wood anytime soon. And my goal of 12 cords, remember it was 12 cords by Easter. Full disclosure, I wanted to have 12 cords ready by Easter so I could sell 12 cords. I don't know how much of it's gonna be ready to sell. Obviously I won't sell it if it's not dry, but I certainly have enough to get ready for next year and maybe double my supply again. So, all right guys, that's gonna be it for this one because I just got a phone call that something I ordered is in and ready for me to pick up. It's not super exciting, but it's exciting to me. It's a major, major element or piece of the puzzle for delivering this year. So you'll have to tune in next week. Not next week. Heck, you can wait till Wednesday. And I'll see you then when I'm doing more stuff.